5 times on each side. And it's just this act of doing like a movement that your body is not really. So this is an example of where a club could help fix it. Hello all, it's May 26th. Oh, not 26th, 24th, sorry. May 24th, Saturday, and I'm in my backyard. I didn't put out a video for, I guess, maybe 5-6 days now. Mostly because it's been raining all week and I didn't really get a chance to work out outdoors and record, and I don't really record my gym sessions anymore. Though I did go to a new gym yesterday and I recorded some of my workout from that, which I'll tag along to the end of this video with a voiceover. Anyway, today I plan on focusing a lot on steel mace swinging and club exercises. So I don't know, yesterday and just during the week in general, I did a decent amount of kettlebell stuff. So it gets redundant after a while, or boring. So yeah, redundant isn't necessarily bad, but boring is bad. Anyway, so this is what I'm doing to warm up. I'm doing 10 alternating 10 to 2s to start. Using my 15-pound mace. Then doing 10 to 2s, two-handed, with my left hand overhand first. Going for 10 and then I'll switch hands. Then switching overhand to right hand. Then 360 to single hand, and then repeat for 5 on each side. So yeah, pretty long, complex, but the weight's light enough for me to where, it's a long enough set to where the muscles feel genuinely worked, but not like super worked, and where it's like I don't know, it's essentially the equivalent of getting a pump or whatever, but with the steel mace. So yeah, I'm going to do like 4 to 5 sets of this, and then on to the next. for the next set of movements, doing, I guess, this weird lunge flow. So going to do, using my 25-pound mace, going to do a 360 to single-handed 360. So, and then going to catch it at the side of my body and do a lunge, uppercut as I get up, back down into the lunge, get up, and repeat on the other side. So it might not seem like much, but this whole act of first swinging it, then catching it, then getting down into a lunge in this awkward position, then doing an uppercut. Like, there's so many muscles at play to do this whole thing that even though, it doesn't seem like much, it is actually quite taxing. At least for me it is. And 25 pounds with the mace goes a long way. And my floor here is pretty uneven too, but whatever. I'm going to do this 5 times on each side. And it's just this act of doing like a movement that your body is not really used to, and then to add resistance to it really works you out in a unique way, I would say. So, with that act of, first off, like catching the mace, so just holding the mace the whole time keeps the biceps engaged. Then to catch the weight, control it, and then do an uppercut. It's like you're doing a curl each time, but like a really weird, awkward angled curl. And that's taking place after you're holding the mace. So it really adds up. The arms and forearms feel it a lot, and then the core feels it a lot. Then with my 35-pound club, I'm going to do shield cast, alternated. So doing a clean to switch hands, doing this 5 times as well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for now. With the first exercise, it felt like I was kind of over-explaining myself. And I think the reason I was doing that was when I first came across people in the steel mace world doing these movements where they like hold the steel mace to the side, do an uppercut and lunge and stuff. Like, I used to just kind of think, why are they doing this goofy stuff? Why can't they just hold it and do a lunge? But then I tried it out myself, and I see why. It recruits the body in a unique way that you wouldn't really feel if you just held it to the side and did a lunge. Combining it with the uppercut and stuff like that is really challenging. and it reveals, at least to me, certain imbalances in my body. And once those are brought to the surface, I can work on them. But yeah, I'm going to do 5 sets of this and then on to the next. So this next set of movements is going to be a all Clubbell thing. So a lot of people sometimes ask, I said a lot of people sometimes, but people often ask, why clubs over maces? And one of the exercises that, well, not over maces, like why would you have both clubs and maces? So one of the things that you can do with a club that you can't do with a mace, or at least as easily with a mace, is low to high swings or different kinds of side swings, one of which I'm going to show you right now. So this is a low to high Clubbell swing. So essentially, I don't know, I think it would mimic sort of like a golf swing, where you're hitting an object on the floor, or like in cricket, if you're going to hit something with the bat. It doesn't mimic baseball as much, because in baseball you kind of have the bat out to the side and go like that. It might translate to baseball too, but in any case, having the club on the floor, generating some momentum, and then so I'm using my 45-pound club, so it's heavy enough, and like all the force comes with the hips and the core, and it kind of teaches you how to generate power using that system. And so there's a lot of muscles at play, specifically muscles around the hips and the abs. Repeating on the other side. So this is an example of where a club could help fix imbalances. So let's say you're someone who plays a racket sport or a bat sport, and you're right hand or left hand dominant. You're probably training most of the time using the dominant hand. So for me, in racket sports or bat sports, my dominant hand is the left hand. So I probably do a lot of this and never with the right hand. So there's probably muscles that have developed around that imbalance, and using the club can help rectify that. Then with the 15-pound club, I'm going to do wrist rolls. So from a clean motion, switch hand, wrist roll, clean, switch hand, wrist roll. Doing this 5 times. Then going to do 10 reverse mills or outside mills. And I'm trying to go fast. Switch hands. Then 10 inside mills. Mills is another exercise that's a lot simpler or convenient with the club than it is with the mace. And even those wrist rolls. Like you can do them with the mace, but it's just not as, doesn't feel as good, at least not for me. With the 7-pound mace, which is really light, it feels alright. But I think that's more of a thing of how light the weight is than the actual tool. But yeah, doing this for 4 sets. I think I might juggle after, but I might do one more thing. I didn't really feel like doing anything else, so going straight into juggling. I also want to go on a walk after, so yeah, might as well get this out of the way and then head on the walk. But yeah, after this, at the end, I'm going to tag on some more from yesterday's workout that I did at the gym, like I said earlier. I think I mentioned earlier at least. So yeah, there's more to this video. That was pretty good, I think. I'm gonna do, like, it's been a few days since I've juggled. What I've found out about juggling is, as long as I handle a kettlebell to, in some shape or form, consistently, I don't necessarily have to juggle the kettlebell to retain the capability. A lot of it is just, well, not just, but a lot of it is spatial awareness and knowing how the kettlebell behaves, and just handling the kettlebell without flipping it helps with that to a huge degree. I'm gonna call it a day with that. So yeah, like I said, keep watching. There's more. I'm gonna go on a walk. Yeah. So these are clips from my workout yesterday. I went to this gym that had an outdoor portion to it. So it's not like fully outdoor, it's almost like a cage, or I don't know, like a prison yard sort of feeling. So it's in a mall, and you can see people walking by, but there's like this workout thing. The gym has an indoor thing too, but it has this outdoor portion with the turf and stuff like that. In any case, for long term viewers, you guys probably know that I like landmine squats a lot. It's my favorite kind of squat. I like the angle at which it forces the body to move. It allows me to stay on my toes and get into a deep knee bend. And I feel like I get a really good stretch and contraction in my quads from this. I can go much heavier than this, but since it's been a while that I've done the landmine squats, with a lot of my recent workouts being at home, I decided to be conservative with how much weight I put on, and that the idea of conservative weight is relative. What's light for me is heavy for someone else, or what's heavy for me is really light for someone else. And so I did landmine squats, and I superset it with kettlebell tactical clean, I believe, to shoulder external rotation shoulder press. And I believe I did 5 reps of that on each side. Even when well, if you guys have been watching for a while, you know how my gym workouts usually go. But I guess there's a lot of newer people here, and if people haven't necessarily seen my gym workouts, they might be curious as to what I do in the gym. When I work out at the gym, it's still a lot of unconventional training, so to speak, uh, but using gym equipment. So, like with the landmine, most people use it for T-bar rows and maybe shoulder presses, but I use it for landmine squats. So this is a sled that they have, like a sled wheelbarrow combination. It allows you to do sled movements, but also like farmer walk, but like a wheelbarrow walk. So I use that to do sled push, and then backwards wheelbarrow drag, which my idea was to simulate the reverse sled, or the closest thing to it. And I felt like this, I guess, backward wheelbarrow drag, uh, which is going to happen right now, kind of simulated that to a certain degree. And there's 6 plates on there, 6 plates plus whatever weight the wheelbarrow was. It's a decent amount of resistance. Yeah, and one of the things that I do think is important is for the body to experience heavy loads. When the body has to experience, like most people think of experiencing heavy resistance through squats and deadlifts and stuff like that, but I think a much quote unquote safer way to load your body, and much heavier, I guess. Well, not much heavier, but pretty much as heavy as a squat or a deadlift, and but to have you experience the resistance for a long amount of time, is by doing stuff like sled and farmer carry, because the sets are much longer than your deadlift and squat sets, at least for me they are, and you get to handle, your body has to experience that load for a long amount of time. Then I did this kettlebell complex slash flow, where I did a figure eight, uh, squat thruster, and to a snatch. I think I kind of messed up on that rep, but Yeah, did I think 5 of that on each side as a superset to the wheelbarrow movements. And yeah, not much else to say. I like doing supersets because it keeps the heart rate going. And using a light enough kettlebell to where I am able to perform the movement continuously right after doing like a taxing set of wheelbarrow push and drag. They also had tires uh, at this location, so I end up using that in the next part of the workout. So that's what's up next. So yeah, here I'm doing tire flips. That's a 176 pound tire, I believe, which is I think 80 kilograms. And yeah, essentially flipped it back and forth. Um, with a tire flip, I wonder, like, does it really have to be a tire? Like, why not just some sort of solid big block of whatever? I think it doesn't necessarily have to be a tire. Like, you could literally flip anything and get the same stimulus, but for whatever reason, the first person to ever do it probably did it on a tire, and then everyone has then chosen to do it on a tire. Anyway, nice little compound movement, mixture of um, arms, legs. It's like a deadlifting maneuver. Then I did this walking barbell twist walks. So this is a really interesting movement in my opinion. I came across this on a functional patterns page. So I don't know. It's like your body oscillates as it walks, and holding uh, the barbell kind of gives you, I don't know, like almost a resistance that you can. You'd have to do it to feel it. Like it wants to twist you a certain way, and then your body has to rebound, and that feeling of rebounding is a really interesting feeling, and I think the more you get in touch with that, you're able to rectify some imbalances of movement. At least that's how I felt while doing it. And then I ended off with this, I guess, interesting uh, dumbbell complex. So I did, using a 40-pound dumbbell, I did a curl to shoulder press to a tricep extension, and then lunge to half kneeling windmill, and then repeat on both sides. I think I only repeated it once on each side, so like 1 rep on each side. And also you'll notice while picking it up, I'm doing like a cross body deadlift just to add an additional component over there. Um, you guys know that I'm a fan of like full body movements, and I wanted to figure out just something interesting to do, and that's how I came up with this. Like, I'm not a huge fan of doing curls and tricep extensions by themselves anymore, so I wanted to think of a way I could uh, put a movement together where I could do something like a curl and a tricep extension in one, while also doing some sort of like full body thing. Then with a 70-pound kettlebell, I did 5 snatches. Um, yeah, 70 pounds I think is 32 kilograms. Yeah, so it's not a weight that I have at home. At home, I have like an 80 pound kettlebell, and the next lightest one I had was a 50 pound. So or was it 3 snatches? I did 3 snatches, not 5. But anyway, I like using the 70 because it's like a good in between weight between the 80 and my 50, to where when I get to use it at any gym that I go to, I try to use it because I want to work towards being more comfortable with my 80-pound snatches. So this is a video from day before yesterday. Um, yeah, just some progress on my cut. Yeah, a little posing video. It's been like when I used to make gym videos, I used to add posing in a lot more. But yeah, um, just some physique progress. While I don't know. Sometimes in my videos, I think I come across as not that lean. I think it all depends on lighting. This lighting at the gym definitely brings out the better side of me. And so yeah, when I do go to the, so this is a complete, not the gym that you just saw. This is my usual gym. But yeah, that's all for today's video. See you all in the next one.